Today we have Martin King for SW6 Blues, Pride of London. This is a little preview interview to see how Martin feels about the Champions League final, Chelsea versus Manchester City.
So
I suppose the first question, mate, is are you confident?
No, not at all. Not at all. I know you shouldn't be against your team, or I don't think there's a lot of Chelsea fans confident about this game. Not on the display, the last few displays. I mean, the cup final was atrocious. We was absolute crap. Didn't turn up. We've had that discussion before. That's gone now. But then we played Arsenal. Rubbish again. Should have. We ain't got. So the thing is, we ain't got a centre forward, and we've got a midfield who can't run. So when they all push up the midfield, unless Cantor's playing, there's a big gap of 30, 40 yards. And you've got Janino in midfield who can't run. He's treading water. He points at everyone else to do something, and he can't run. So basically, I don't think we're going to... If we play against how we did against Man City in the league, scored 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, then I think we could nick it. But at the minute, yesterday against Villa, we was all over the place. As soon as we go 1-0 down, we start panicking. But we haven't got a centre forward. We play with Werner, who's as quick as Usain Bolt, but there's no end product. He's like an headless chicken. If there weren't a French around the pitch, he'd be in the local Tesco's up the road or something. He don't stop. He's always offside. So, honestly, when you look at Man City's squad, I think they're a bit similar to us up front. They've got Raheem Sterling, who's quick, but again, he's a bit like Werner. Ain't really an end product most of the time. They got the Jesus, the Brazilian kid. He's a bit hit and miss. I mean, if Sergio Aguero plays, they got half a chance of getting a goal. But you've got Phil Foden, you've got to control him. He's absolute. I'd love him in my team, Phil Foden. England international. What is he? 19 years of age, 20. He's absolutely brilliant. He's shit hot. He's mustard. So on paper, I know that Brian Clough come out with a great saying. Every team looks good on paper, but they don't play on paper. They play on a grass pitch.
Very true.
Which is a great quote. And it's 11v11. But we've got so many weak links in our team. We've got Azpilicueta, Dave, or whatever they called him. Caesar Asler, I can't even say his fucking name. Anyway, he's too old now. He was too old 2 years ago when he was down to win 3 of Man United's goals opening day of the season. We lost 4-0. It was down to win 3 of the goals because he can't run. He's too old. Been a great defender. You know, you've got Thiago Silva at the back. He's 37. He ain't the quickest. He can read the game, a bit like, you know, his brain's still there, but his legs ain't. And we've got 2 good fullbacks in James and Chilwell. But in midfield, you've got Janino. He's one of the worst. I've been going to Chelsea 60 years. He's one of the worst players I've ever seen put on a Chelsea shirt. And as I said to you the other week on the pitch radio, he come out with a quote because Chelsea fans were giving him stick. If you don't know what I do for Chelsea on the pitch, then you don't know football. Well, I do know football, and I know you're fucking useless because he can't run. Yeah. He does all this silly pointing people to go here, go there, and does nothing himself. So no, I'm not confident in the midfield. That's where they're strong. They've got Fernandinho in midfield, who's a good player. You know, they've got some good players in midfield. You know, they've got.
So do you not think that you know, obviously you've got a fantastic talent in Mason Mount.
Oh yeah,
Do you not think that he could make the difference on the day?
Yeah, but he can't carry the whole team, can he? If you've got, you know, any Chelsea fan, if they're going to be serious, Tommy Tuchel's come in, as I've said to you, I love him. I think he's great. He loves the players. The players have bought in what he's Lampard couldn't get out of them. He has got out of them. But now he's sort of running out of idea. And as we've said, is he picking the team or is someone above him picking the team? Because I can't seem to like me. You ask any Chelsea fan what they think of Janino in midfield. You know, you've got to have Canty in there. He's a workhorse. He's done it. He's been there. He's won it with Leicester, the league. He's a great player, French international, World Cup winner. And they don't seem to play him enough.
You need a workhorse in midfield, don't you?
But he is a workhorse, and he's got a talent. He can run with the ball, he can pass with the ball. He just lacks a goal here and there. If he scored more goals, he'd be the complete midfielder. But we've got Kovacic. He's just come back from injury. He's good at going forward, but he don't track back. we've got two, without counting, we've got two lightweight midfielders where Man City are strong. De Bruyne, you give him the ball and he can make something out of nothing. They got such a good Rodriguez in midfield. They got such a good, strong midfield, Man City. A little bit weak up top, as I said, but great midfield, great defenders, great fullbacks who bomb on. Walker at the back, he can get forward and get crosses in, and a good goalkeeper. Ederson's a good goalkeeper. Well, whereas we might not have our regular goalkeeper because he got injured at Villa on Sunday. So might have the mad midget in goal, Kepa. God, my God. He goes down.
Mad midget. Oh, dear.
He's useless. 72 million for him. No one had ever. It must have got like a Spanish pub side or something. He's crap. I don't. If we can win this, we've done the crime of the century. If we can nick this, if we can go out to Porto and win this, that would be an achievement. Bigger achievement than when we won it in the Germans' own backyard at Bayern Munich and we won it on penalties. But this one, I can't see for the life of me how he's going to go about this game. And if he picks the wrong team from the start, and we've got so much deadwood there, if he stays next year, and I hope he does, and he's given the money, how can you play without a centre forward? Someone gets the ball across.
I wanted to speak about strikers. The last interview, you said that hasn't really been anyone since Drogba.
We've had Costa, Diego Costa,
sorry.
Same as Drogba, Didier Drogba. He frightened the life out of defenders.
He did.
Against Arsenal. He unsettled them. The same as Costa. He was up the dirty tricks. He was elbowing, spitting on his gloves and batting people on the head. He knew it all. And we got rid of him. We replaced him. We brought in Tammy Abraham. Honestly, everyone says, he come through the youth team. So fucking what? I've never seen him go past the player. All his goals are tap-ins or something hits him on his dyed ginger hair and it goes in. He's like Bambi on ice. He's got no control. I've never seen him dribble. How can a centre forward not be able to dribble?
So do you think, Martin, that the youth that are coming through and all this tippy-tappy tactics, they're not actually running at players, are they?
No, I mean, I was brought up on George Best, Charlie Cook, Stan Bowles, Tony Curry, people who could control the ball, go past 2 or 3 players, excite the crowd, and get a good crossing or score a goal themselves. There ain't them type of player. Mason Mount is the only one. Eden Hazard was our one who could do it. He saved us for about 3 or 4 years, that boy. Now we've got Mason Mount. Everything's on. He's a young kid, Mason Mount. Everything's on Mason Mount's shoulders where it shouldn't be. But our weak link is midfield. We haven't got a sort of Vinnie Jones type who can get stuck in, put yourself about, or a Roy Keane or someone like that.
Yeah, not exactly a midfield genius, but someone who can stick the boot in.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and who can play a ball. Someone like a cross between Roy Keane and Glenn Hoddle, who can play a ball, can get stuck in. Our midfielders couldn't tackle a big dinner. Honestly, they're useless. That's so fucking lightweight. It's unbelievable.
How old is Mason Mount, Martin?
20, and he's 20. I was 21.
He's 20. So that's, like you said, that's very young to carry a team, especially in the Champions League final.
Well, you watch. If we go 1-0 down, all the heads are dropped. Right. Because there's no focal point up front where we played Erpitz, the German wonder kid. I wonder when he's going to get going because it's took him a season and he's done literally nothing. He has a couple of good touches and they're saying, he's the new German wonder kid. He's world class. We ain't seen it. Werner, another German on the wing. He just runs and runs and runs. Yes, he don't know how to stay on offside. And we've got defenders who don't know the rules of the game that you can pass forward. I spoke about Kurt Zuma, the big French guy at the back. Silva will kick it to him and he kicks it back. He panics. He don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Honestly,
do you not think then, Martin, that you say Chelsea go 1-0 down? Yeah. Is there not anyone in the side that can sort of grab the lads by the scruff of the neck and say, come on, let's dig in?
We ain't had no one since. You look at the teams, what was successful at Chelsea. We had Petr Cech in goal, a character. We had John Terry at the back who'd shout and bollock and tell people where to go, and he meant it. Then we had Frankie Lampard in midfield, a world-class midfield player. score 20, 25 goals every season. We had Drogba up front or Costa up front. You take that, we had Ashley Cole. But they're all mouthy players who got the others going. If they saw someone slacking, they would give them a bollocking and say, come on, pull your socks up. Let's get going. We had Michael Essien. He was like a buffalo in midfield. Big, strong, black geezer. Great midfield player. You know, and we ain't got them characters no more. We got people who can't fucking run. Honestly, they can't get back. The same as a cup final when Jorginho should be marking the geezer who scored for Leicester. He's 30 yards away from him, yet he's pointing at other people to do his dirty work where he don't do it. And honestly, he's our top scorer. He's 7 goals or 6 goals, all from the penalty spot. That says it all. We ain't got anyone who can score goals. You watch the game on Saturday. If the ball goes out wide to Chilwell or Werner does one of his cranky runs and chases the ball, he'll look up. Who's he going to pass it to? Because there's no one in the box.
There's no target man.
There's no. We've got Giroud, he's been great at Arsenal. He's been half decent at Chelsea for a season or two. I think we've had him for about 4 years. But his time has gone now. He can't do it. He can't do it. You know, you're knocking the ball in and he's going to win headers, but the balls ain't coming in accurate enough for him to get headers, or he's not getting. He's lost it now. You know, he's got another season in American football or Chinese or something, but he ain't got it in the Premiership. He's done.
No, it's a different league, isn't it? I mean, you see players go to the American League, like they're sort of finishing off, aren't they?
Well, some go to China for big money.
Yeah, Gary Lineker. I mean, Japan. The Premier League is you know, it's one of the best leagues in the world for a reason, because it's tough.
Of course it is. But to what you asked me, what is my hopes? Zilch. And I hate saying it. I would really love us to win it. If we win it, it's going to be a 1-0, a nick of 1-0, or a 1-1 draw. Go to extra time, then penalties. Might nick it on penalties like we did in Munich. But we ain't going to go there and win 2 or 3-0 because we ain't got no one who can score 2 goals or 3 goals. You know, we got thumped at home by West Brom, who've gone down. Everyone was beating West Brom. We got beat at home 5-2 by West Brom. Every time they just kicked the ball. One of the goals, the goalkeeper kicked it, went over our 2 central defenders, bounced in front of the West Brom geezer who stayed on side, and just booted it in the net.
Route 1.
But we can't do Route 1. You know, we build up tippy-tappy and he kicks it to him and he kicks it back. As I'm saying, that Christensen, if he's playing Saturday, you watch him. I don't think I've ever seen him do a forward pass. I don't think he knows it's in the rules of football. He's allowed to pass forward. Sideways, backwards, side, and all that fucking about at the back around the 6-yard box.
Dangerous, isn't it?
Up there.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
You know what I mean? Just get it out. If you've got it away from the goal, they can't score. All that piss balling about, fucking about at the back, give it to him and he gives it back to the goalkeeper. Then the goalkeeper panics and then, honestly, and if that mad midget, that Spaniard's in goal, then I think we're doomed. We're going to take an heavy, could be the worst thrashing in a Champions League final, I reckon. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong before Chelsea fans start saying.
You've just mentioned against West Brom, what we've called a Route 1 goal.
Yeah.
How do you know that a lot of this, the new tactics is tippy tappy.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes in the English game, Route 1 is called for.
Of course it is.
How do you feel about Route 1?
Well, it's not the best football to watch, but a lot of good teams, like you look at Man United, you look at Liverpool. Liverpool go a lot of Route 1 over the top, and Salah, he runs onto it. Who's up the front, you know what I mean? But they know how to play it. They've always played it. When they had Torres, they would bypass the midfield and over the top, and he would come in from the left or right wing. Torres, and so does Salah. He does the same thing.
Someone quick,
get away with it. You know, and then again, they've got a nice build-up. There's all Man United have played Route 1 a lot of the time when they had a big centre forward. But we don't go Route 1 because we haven't got anyone to finish the product of Route 1 football off. It's all got to be slow build-up. And sometimes, you know, you think sideways, back, sideways. You think, well, fuck's sake, take out. Someone have a shot. Someone go take.
Yeah.
try what you just said at the beginning. You've not got many players now who can actually dribble with the ball and go past players. You've got players, you knock it into space over the fullback or over the top. They're quick to get onto it, but they haven't got the ability to create. That's what I'm saying about Tammy Abraham at Chelsea. You know, people are saying, "Oh, he come to the youth team," but he can't dribble. He can't go past the player and create his own chances.
No, he's a passer.
Little tap-ins, or one hits him on his ginger hair when he's dyed it and all that. But to me, 40 million. They're talking about 40 million for it. I bite the round off. Hudson-Odoi, the winger, 20
That's
million.
a lot of money, isn't it?
For a kid who's come through the youth product, and he really would struggle to get in the top 16. A lot of our players, besides Mason Mount, I think would struggle to get in a top 6 side. And that's being honest. Because we ain't got Mason Mount, we haven't got a world-class player. Before, when we had Cech, Terry, Lampard, Drogba,
characters. Yeah.
We had real world-class players. But now we haven't got a single world-class, to me, we ain't got a world-class player at Chelsea. So,
I just want to go back to something you've said, and you've mentioned it in previous interviews, and I think it came from Gary Harris on our Pitch Radio show on Saturdays. That he said that maybe Tommy Tuchel, he's not picking the side on his own, or he hasn't got complete
I think there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, we spoke about this many times, not just at Chelsea, but other clubs. The coaches are there, or the managers are there to train the team and pick the tactics. They're not there to pick the team. Or the same as at Chelsea, some of the transfers we've had. Who picks these players? Who paid 72 million for Kepa, the goalkeeper, who played the little midget? Whoever found him and thought, oh, we'll have him? I mean, I said, Edison was at Man City. Liverpool bought a good keeper. He was just scored with an header last week, believe it or not, the winner against West Brom. But two decent goalkeepers, both Brazilians, I believe. But we go and find this Spanish kid who's absolute shit, and he is shit. He's the worst keeper I've seen at Chelsea. He dives over the ball goes under him.
Yeah.
He's talking to someone behind the goal and ain't paying attention, and the ball comes back to him and it goes in. He's terrible. Nobody had ever heard of him. And we sign players. If anyone seems to have a good game against Chelsea, whether it comes from Abramovich or one of his advisors, years ago, I don't know if you remember Scott Parker. We lost 4-2 at Charlton, and Scott Parker was in midfield for Charlton. He played a blinder. The year later, we signed him. We had him, no good. Chris Sutton, when he was at Blackburn, played against us when he was with Shearer, Sutton and Shearer up front. Great. We signed him for 10 million. Rubbish. We've got a history of signing players. We paid 50 million for Torres from Liverpool, and it was reported that Chelsea knew that he had a dodgy knee or knees, and apparently someone at the top said, don't matter, sign him, we want him.
Still paid the money.
I think he went about 28 games without scoring, something like that.
So basically what you're saying, Martin, is they paid 20 million for who they knew was an injured player.
Yes.
More or less.
And getting back to what you're saying, I've heard it from loads of people, ex-players, pundits on the television. They can't say directly, he ain't picking the team. They're saying, well, just wonder who's picking the team. And for Janino to play nearly every game,
something's going on.
But if he's in that team Saturday, we got no hope. And I don't care what he says. He thinks in his head he's a great player. We paid 59 million or something for him. Sarri bought him from Napoli. When Sarri came to Chelsea or Napoli, that was his first signing. He should have gone back with Sarri when he went back to Juventus. He only lasted a year at Juventus, Sarri, or 2 years. But honestly, he can't run. He can't run. You might as well give him a Zimmer frame because he can't fucking run. He's honestly, our midfield is not when a Kovacic or a Jorginho go forward. There's a gate and they lose the ball, and more often 9 times out of 10 they'll lose the ball. There's no one there to pick up the pieces or to close anybody down. So
and they don't backtrack themselves.
No, because they can't. Because they haven't got the fitness, they haven't got the legs. He's treading water, Jorginho. You give away a penalty Saturday, he got sent off. Give away a penalty on me. Azpilicueta is too old. Oh, he's been a great servant, you know. Yeah, so was fucking Bobby Moore at West Ham, but you can't fucking.
Yeah, well, you know, it's about today, isn't it? It's not about what you've done.
There comes a time when you can't do it no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There comes a time in professional football or any sport, you get to a certain age, and what you could do at 20, 25, maybe up to 30, early 30s, you get to 34, 33, 35, you're finished. You might have super fitness and you might be able to think it in your brain, but your legs won't
It's your
work.
body.
Your body can't do it. Your body can't do it.
No.
Your brain might be able to do it. But the same as Silver, what is he, 36, 37?
Yeah.
His brain can still do it, but he ain't quick. If he's facing like Vardy, he'd run the legs off of him. So anyone quick. And I just think, Man City will be too strong in every department for us. And
you really think so?
100%. I mean, they beat us 3-0 at the Bridge when Lampard was in charge, and they gave us a football lesson. And they weren't particularly good up to that game. And then they marched on after that, and they won the title, deservedly, because they played the best football. They've got the best manager, and they played the best football.
I'll take you back to the goalkeeper that you lovingly call the Mad Midget.
Yeah.
Did you say how much did Chelsea pay for him?
72 million.
72 million. But what you're saying is that there's no caliber there. There's no history.
History with what? Him being any good?
Yeah, with about this Mad Midget. There's nothing there. There's not.
Well, if he was any good, wouldn't Real Madrid buy him? Wouldn't Atletico Madrid buy him?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's a lot of money, 72 million for a goalkeeper, isn't it?
Of course it is. We just sold Courtois, who didn't want to be at Chelsea no more after 3 years. We sold him to Real Madrid and we panicked. We had a perfectly good reserve goalkeeper, a Polish kid, who in pre-season looked really good. And I would have stuck with him. He was, right. I think he went out to Germany somewhere, but this Polish kid was good. He was about 22, 23. I'll say kid, he's a man, 23. He was a good keeper. And yet we go and spend 72 million on this useless, and I mean useless, goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And he can't save anything. He doesn't instill confidence. If I was a defender, I'd be thinking, oh, fuck me, we've got this clown in goal today. Because honestly, he's that bad. Everyone goes, I guess I come on Twitter the other day and said, oh, you slagging him off. He's going to grow into it. I said, fucking hell, what's he going to be 6'7" for? He's a good goalkeeper.
Exactly, yeah. You need the finished product now, not.
You know, like when you're at school and you've got a school, your school's playing another school and your goalkeeper's ill, and you look around the dressing room and you pick your worst player out on the field and say, Charlie, you're going in goal today. Charlie goes, oh, fuck me. This is Kepa. He's Charlie in goal because he don't want to be in goal and he ain't no good in goal. Believe me, he's shit. And if he's in goal, then we are doomed. And if Juninho's playing, you might as well turn over and watch Bake Off or something because we're done. And and I don't care what Chelsea fans. I've been going 60 years, and this is the worst goalkeeper and the worst one midfield player I've ever seen in my life.
That's a big statement to make. To be honest,
I mean it.
I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Yeah.
What's the score going to be, Martin?
We're either going to be 1-0 to Chelsea, right?
Right.
Or 4 or 5-0 to Man City.
Right. You think that they might have a rout then, basically?
Well, it all depends who's playing because, as I said, you look at Man City's team. I've written down their squad here. You know, look at the you've got De Bruyne, you've got Bernard Silva, you've got Phil Foden, you've got Torres, the Spain international, you've got Mahrez, up front, Fernandinho. You know, you've got some great players there. And De Jesus up front, and Aguero and Sterling. They've ripped the arse out of Chelsea. On paper, I know it's played on grass, but on paper, you look at that team and you think, well, but you look at the Man City dressing room, they see the Chelsea team pinned up there, and think, oh, fuck me, we're in luck, look, that nutcase is in goal. Or we've got Juninho in midfield, he ain't got no legs. No. The sooner he gets out, I'll take him to the airport for nothing, because he's absolutely too far. And all Chelsea fans are all, listen, what I'm saying, and what we've all said, we might be wrong, if he's playing this Saturday, and he's had such a stinky last. Well, he's had a shit ass season. But if he's playing Saturday, then surely Tuchel ain't picking him. Someone else is picking him.
Yeah, that might show something that something's going on behind the scenes.
And the goalkeeper, he played in a cup final, and he came on for the second half against Villa on Sunday. Now, is someone telling Tuchel to play him in goal, to put him in the shop window, to fucking sell him? That's my point.
Possibly, yeah.
You know what I mean? We've had a record, a piss poor record of buying crap that no one else buys, and then they go off on I think it was something like 49 players out on loan last season and the season before.
That's a lot of players, isn't it?
Players.
I mean, that's just over four. That's just over 4 teams.
That's what I'm saying. But we give good money to these people. We've give good money for mediocre players. Mediocre. We can't go and look for one good player. We've got, like we're talking about spending big money for a centre half, 2 centre halves in the summer. We've got that young kid at Swansea who's been a star at Swansea, the centre half, Mark Gear. Is it Gear? I might be pronouncing it wrong. But they reckon he's the bollocks. We've got Tomori out in Milan, another centre half. Lampard rated him. He's had the England call up. You've got 2 centre halves there could come in for Christensen, Silva. You know what I mean? Any of the other crap we play at centre half. And Rudiger. Rudiger's all right. He's a bit hit and miss. He makes some silly mistakes. We've got 2 good centre halves. Young kids going to learn on the job. Got Chilwell and Reece the other side. And we just need to get 2 or 3 good midfield players. I mean, Declan Rice, we've been after him. We let him go as a kid at 14, 15. Said he was too small, no good. Look how he's growing up at West Ham. I'd love him in our midfield. He's a battler. He's a leader. He's got a big guy.
They've brung them along, yeah.
Yeah, no, and build your team around Declan Rice. Go back to the old Chelsea ways, where the spine of the team, Terry, Cech, Lampard, Drogba, right the way through. The spine of the team was solid. And all good players who G the other players up. We've got no one like that. You watch, if we go 1 or 2-0 down, all the heads are dropped. And no matter how much Tommy runs up and down the line, shouting and bowling, holding his head in his hands, he ain't going to get a tune out of them players. And if we're going to finish the season, we only qualify for Europe because Tottenham done us a favour beating Leicester.
That's right, yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
Other than that, we're going to be, if we lose Saturday, we've lost 2 cup finals because we don't show. And for some reason, the board won't back any manager and buy a decent forward. Go and break the bank and buy a decent forward, or do what we used to do. And John Neal, the old Middlesbrough manager, come to Chelsea. He bought Kerry Dixon from Reading for 175,000. He bought David Speedy from Darlington for about 60,000. 2 of the greatest children, Pat Nevin from a little team up in Scotland for about 50,000. We're the best forward line for donkey's years. And it didn't cost. We nurtured unknown talent from the lower leagues and brought them through. And it's
the way it's done.
There's still got to be good players in these lower leagues.
Okay, so to finish up now, I'll sort of ask you.
Yeah.
You've said the prediction of the scores.
Yeah.
And I think really the big question is, are Chelsea going to turn up, Martin?
I doubt it.
They didn't turn up for the FA Cup, did they?
No, we didn't turn up Sunday at Villa. We didn't turn up against Arsenal. We didn't turn up against Brighton 0-0 at home. We didn't turn up against Wolves 0-0 at home. We got tonked by West Brom 5-2 at home. So, how's that instill confidence?
Doesn't.
You know, our regular goalkeeper might be out. We might have this other clown in goal. I just think Chelsea fans say, "Oh, you're talking again about your team and all that." Listen, I'm one of these. If the team's shit, then I'll say it. If they're good, I'm over the moon.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, the pinnacle of my career, if you can call it that, following Chelsea, was winning in Munich, and I was there. And I've been to all the cup finals from 67 against Tottenham when I was 11, when we got beat 2-1. To the Leeds games, 2-2 at Wembley, and then we won at Old Trafford in the replay. I was there. I've seen the highs. I've seen more lows than highs in my 60 years of going to Chelsea. And all these Johnny come latelys say, "Oh, you're talking against your team." They don't know fuck all. You know what I mean? They just talk bollocks. They just talk bollocks about Frank. Hello, you've asked me before. There's still people who want Frank Lampard back.
Very true. Yeah.
What's that all about? He's had a chance. He couldn't do it. You know what I mean? He's a world-class player. I love Frank. He scored 20, 25 goals a year, as I said. He was loved by the fans. Comes back as manager. He couldn't cut it. All this other geezer, he's had a few good. He has really, Tommy's got to really lift this team the weekend. He's really got to cheer him up and get him going. Because if he don't,
you're in trouble.
We're doomed. And we'll leave it at that. That's my prediction. 1-0
Okay,
Chelsea,
Martin.
Or 4 or 5-0 to Man City. Yeah,
we'll move on a little bit about your channel, SW6 Blues Pride of London.
Yeah.
You've just had a Danny Eccles-Harkins interview just put up.
Yeah.
It was interviewed some time ago. Is that right?
It was done about 18 months ago for when we was doing another pay-per-view, if you like, or pay-per-listen channel.
Right.
The Chelsea special. It's by me and Dave Chidge come up with the idea. He's got a Chelsea podcast, which he does, I think, every Monday. Has different guests on. And we started that up. And we done that with Danny, and he was, I mean, a lot of it was cut out. He had an advisor there, Martin Knight, was telling him, you shouldn't say that. You should. But he was brilliant. And if anyone ain't listened to the interview, get on it, because this man is a legend at Chelsea. Don't worry about what everyone calls herself, the governor or the general over Chelsea. That man is so humble, honest and funny. He's a legend. He was bigger than the Beatles and the Rolling Stones in the 70s. Every school kid knew or heard of Eccles.
No, I've heard some of the interview. And he, like, I think you said that to him. And he was very humble about it, wasn't he?
Yes, he's so... Oh, it's just so funny. The things he comes out with. He's got no filter in his mouth, so that's why we had to cut lots of it out. Because he denies that he could have a fight, and he was the most trendiest bloke you ever saw at football. He started the skinhead movement at Chelsea. Don't worry about these scousers saying they started the casual scene. I'll tell you, in London, Arsenal started it, believe it or not. They're skinheads. Arsenal on the North Bank started it. But Danny took it to another level at Chelsea. Everyone copied what Danny had. Everyone wanted his suede brown bomber jacket to wear. Everyone wore white stay press and high-leg Dr. Martens. And everybody wore white stay press like Danny. Or they wore a green Arrington jacket or an Arrington jacket like that. He was the smartest geezer going.
I think it was mentioned that it's Danny walking with his couple of mates at Newcastle, and that clip is in nearly every skinhead documentary going.
Well, that just shows what he's about. You know, I've had people phone me and text me and say they listened to it. Frank listened to it. Frank Portinari listened to it. He said, Martin, what a lovely fella. He's so honest about it. He could have been a Tottenham fan as well. And Chelsea and Tottenham hate one another, the supporters.
Yeah.
But no, he's just a genuinely lovely, lovely man who's very clever at business. Believe he is a very clever businessman, very astute. And
just like to interject there, Martin, if I can.
Yeah.
There will be an interview coming up with Frank Portinari on UK Casuals.
Yeah.
That will be coming very soon.
Yeah.
Just like to say that.
Yeah, that's good.
There was also an interview with yourself around the same time, which is coming up on your channel soon. Is that right?
Yeah, that's about me, how I started writing, and Hooli Fan, the follow-up books to Hooli Fan, and how I've done the Gypsy book, the Bare Knuckle Fighting book with Jimmy Stockings, and other books. I've done Grass about a Thai drug dealer, and Rivals. Loads of the books I've done now. I started. What I wrote and the people I've met, and growing up in South London, in Clapham, Mitcham and Brixton, and just generally about my life, you know, and going to football, loving the fashion, loving the music, and it's just about a working class kid growing up in South London and loving the football. No bollocks, it's just everything in it is what happened to me. People might have seen different, I mean, you get 200 people looking at something, we all see it in a different way. This is my
Of course you do, yeah.
This is my view. Someone might say, well, that never happened. Well, it happened in front of me, and that's the way I saw it.
It's your experience.
It's my experience. You can see a car accident, and you can see two different people say who was at fault or whatever. But you get people fighting at football. I've never said I was a top boy at Chelsea. I've always enjoyed being there. A lot of the times at the front, and I've met some great people through football. And it weren't mindless violence. But to me, is what people say. If you've got two boxers in a ring, they know who they're there to fight. They're not there to fight the referee or the timekeeper.
No, exactly.
Same as football mobs. They know who they got to fight. You do get football mobs who will pick on innocent people, who pick on people with shirts on. But the crowd I went with and Chelsea supporters are renowned for being fair. We knew who we were fighting. So we didn't go around bashing up grandmothers and vicars and priests and nuns and kids. We knew we were there to fight, and if they obliged, it was game on. But we didn't go, and majority of football fans, they look back on their years as part of growing up.
Social history.
Social history. If you weren't involved in a mob, you were the weird one. You were the strange kid.
Of course.
You know what I mean? You was like the kid who wore a dicky boat at school. But
right, so the Danny Harkins interview is out now on this channel.
Yeah.
Well, Danny Eccles Harkins, should I say?
Yep.
And then coming soon is your interview around the same time.
Right, and can I just say, we got a brilliant interview with a fella called Mark Alloway. He was one of our boys, one of our main lot, one of the nicest people you can wish to meet. He got in a lot of trouble and then went to court and was told, if you come before me again by the judge, you could be facing some serious prison. He then went away, thought about it. His mum had always been a churchgoer. He turned to the church and listened to his interview, how he changed his life. Because it is a really brilliant story. It's one, I phoned Mark after I saw it. I said, Mark, it's been an honour and a privilege to say you was my mate and I know you. Because his story, it's going to be on, you're going to put it up soon, but it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's well worth to listen to. Everyone who thinks football hooligans mindless, thugs and all that, listen to Mark Alloway's story and see what you think about it. Then you'll change your mind, I guarantee.
And this is going to be on your playlist, isn't it?
It's going to be on our playlist, yeah, because we're having trouble. Well, you're our computer genius. You're having trouble. But anyway, it's going to be on our playlist, not on our video list. So go to SW6 Blues Pride of London and go to the playlist, and there's Mark Alloway's interview there. And
what else is on the playlist, Martin?
There's Chelsea v Leyton Orient, which 1972, which means a lot to me for various people know the reasons why. And then there's a game at Forest when we took about 10,000 up there and took their end, the Trent end. I don't think any mob had ever gone there as big as what we took there that day. And even the Forest fans like Gary Boatsy Clark, he'll tell you, he was there. What a firm we took up there that day. Unbelievable. So that's the two games. We've got more games to come. I've got a fella who's got hundreds and hundreds of Chelsea games, classic Chelsea games. So if anybody wants anything, just let me know or through the channel what game you'd like and we'll stick it up for you, the highlights.
And they'll all be going on your playlist.
And also, can I just say quickly, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, there was a book out in the 70s called Skinhead. It was written by a Canadian by the name of Richard Allen. And every kid in the school in the 70s would have a copy of Skinhead. Now, the fella on the front cover used to be a mate of mine when we were teenagers, 13, 14, 15. His name's Les Kent. He comes from Croydon. And I've tracked Les down and he will come on and do an interview with us talking about, and it's a great story, how he came to be photographed to the front of two Richard Allen books. It's a brilliant story about him being a skinhead and how he came to be on the front. It really is. If you're a skinhead or ever been a skinhead and you want to meet the original skinhead who was on Richard Allen's book, Les Kent, who I know personally, I've tracked him down. It's only taken me about 30 years to track him down, but I got him. And he's willing to come on, and he's a lovely fella, and he was a proper handsome boy when he was younger. All the girls loved him. We used to go to an under-15s disco in Croydon on a Saturday morning at the Croydon Suite, and all the girls, once he was on the cover of that book, all the girls loved Les. But I used to go around telling them, don't bother chatting him up, girls, because he's gay. No, you're joking. No. And I told him that and he laughed. But he remembers things, what we'd done when we were going to West Ham and Tottenham and Arsenal. Chelsea supporter, it would be brilliant because he tells a great story of how he came to be on the front cover of the iconic Skinhead book. The original Richard Allen Skinhead book is on the front cover. So
that's coming
going to take in
soon.
the near future. Also, we've got my old mate Bully, who done the book, The Life and Crimes of a Chelsea Headhunter. Gaetano Bullioni, everyone knows him as Bully. He's going to come on. So we've got some good stuff coming up. So, and Andy Scott's another one. He's an old Chelsea supporter. He's done a few books about his uncle was a wrestler, great uncle was a wrestler and all that, and how he'd become a Chelsea fan and all. So we've got some great stuff coming up. So stay tuned. This ain't going to be boring. There's going to be bad language, which is the way we all speak. So, you know, with your help, we're going to have some great stuff, mate. So everyone, thank you for tuning in so far, and you won't be disappointed what we've got lined up. You'll love it.
Fantastic, Martin.
All right, mate.
Okay, so that was Martin King, SW6 Blues, Pride of London. And as Martin says, there'll be more videos coming soon.
Yes.